everything is going extremely well.
And now, Showtime.
Bam, bam, bam. Oh, I love it. We are back live. Sorry, everybody. We missed a week or so. I said do some replays. So, for the record, we are absolutely live. It is currently Friday, August the 8th at 9 a.m., which means if I replay this, you know that this is actually a replay. But this is live right now. So, we're going to get into how to make another $100,000 with your Meta ads in the next 90 days. The really three simple things you have to know. And we're going to start off right away with probably the easiest win on the table. Then we're going to get into some of the community. We got shout outs for all the new MBA program members this week, all the folks in the academy this week. We'll get through all of your questions live on this chat. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments section. We will get to them live on air as always. And also all the comments from YouTube. We'll just try to plow through as many of them as we can. So all that to be said, it's great to see you. Also, new merch in the house. Let me know what you think. We got this, and then it's got one of these guys. Yeah, okay. I feel like actually giving some of these away. I don't quite know how that's going to work, but I feel like maybe I could give a couple of these away. You know, how about this? Anybody watching this video that jumps into the Disruptor Academy, I will 100%. Next 3 people that jump into Disruptor Academy, I'm going to drop the link up here in a minute. I'll toss you one of these shirts, plus maybe, how about this? I'll toss you one of these shirts and $100 gift card to Disruptor School for the next 3 people that join Disruptor Academy, and it's $97. Let's just have some fun. All right, and we have a big release coming this week. Anyway, let's get into how to make another 100K in 90 days. There are 3 very, very simple things that we need to talk about. Number 1, honestly, I see so many people getting wrong, so we need to get into it right away. And I am already seeing big wins for multiple people inside the MBA program because we talked about this a month and a half ago there. So first win. This is really focusing on the market. Now, what this really needs to be, what you need to look at here is offer construction and, more importantly, your data. Now, why this really matters is so many of you, and through no fault of your own, you're not looking at the most important information in your dashboard. So many people are chasing things like ROAS and CTR, trying to launch 100 ads a week. They're looking at CPA, which is interesting, but doesn't really matter. Or a lot of you have leveled up and you're looking at GPT and trying to track your PSM, all of those fun things. Now, those are a lot of fun bits. Let me tell you the most important thing. The simplest win that you can have. It's not just a win for today, but it's going to be the reason that you can make 100K before Black Friday and double what your Black Friday was last year. Start tracking the performance by your offers. Now, the simplest way to do this is to look at the offers you have and then understand when somebody buys these things, what are they actually, what are we tracking? So let me take an example. Let's go to a buddy's website here. Let's just pull this up here real quick. I'm going to go to, let's go to King's Loot. All right. We'll check out the homies at King's Loot here. Boom. By the way, check out King's Loot. I've been working with these guys for a while. They're fantastic people. And we're doing this right now. So looks like I'm sharing the window. I want to share the whole screen. We're going to do this a little bit differently. Okay, folks, I've not done this before. I'm going to share my whole screen, entire screen. Boom, boom, boom. All right. Now you can see how crazy my screen is. All right. So here we go. We're going to slide this over. Now, this is King's Loot. Okay. Now, what I want you to pay attention to here, all right, what I want you to pay attention to is up here, all right, the Meta Pixel Helper. So let's go to them, and let's say this, Midnight Dunes. This is a good-looking wallet, all right? Now, we come here. What we see right away is this pixel fires. It's a page view, right, because we haven't taken any action. But what's interesting is we've got some wallets here that are cheaper and some that are like way more bougie and luxurious. Look at this thing. Now, this one is like the Lamborghini of wallets. Look at this one. Now, What if I add to cart? If I add to cart, let's see if this button works. Add to cart. There we go. Okay, cool. Now what happens is I'm getting an add to cart button, right? Now there's a bunch of these other parameters and a bunch of other pixel locations and custom things, right? But what I really want to begin to look at with all of these little pieces is I want to be able to track that I'm actually selling or that I'm actually chasing this individual piece. Now, here's our variant ID, right? Now, why this matters is I could go into my ad account and say custom conversion event where an add to cart or a purchase contains this variant ID. Or I could just say that it's this product. Now, the reason that that really matters, and I've shown you guys my ad accounts before, not all purchases are created equal, right? So you can go in here and begin to look at your performance. Let's just get rid of this here real quick. So you can go into your ad accounts and look at your performance. Let me just see if I can share mine. But remember that what you're selling, what you actually sell, is not always directly related to what you're promoting. Now, to give an example of this, I'm going to pull up my ad account here real quick. Let's get breakdown. Let's just go by day is going to be a nightmare. Let's go by month here. I'm just going to share my screen here again. Share screen, Chrome tab. I got a lot of ad accounts in here. Let's see. Am I going to be able to share this one specific ad account window? Here we go. Boom, boom. Love it. All right. So here's my window. Now, slide this over a bit. And if you have any questions, by the way, ask them in the chat. We'll pull these up. Now, let me zoom in a little bit. What I want you to see here, now I've spent of my own money over $20,000, all right, to promote my Disruptor Academy, which is going very well. We're at almost $20,000 a month in recurring revenue now, which is fantastic. But I want to show you this. I have this function, school purchase. So I've sold 321 things. The purchase pixel event is triggered 321 times for this 19,000. Now, why that matters is of those purchases, only 197 are school. Now, you're going to be able to go into your platform and see any of your custom metrics. I'm going to show you how to do this real quick. I'm going to do school purchase rate. All right, that's what we're going to call this thing. Boom. All right. Now, this means I'm going to go to school purchase. All right. And then I'm going to divide this by purchases. Awesome. And that's going to be a percentage. Okay. Create metric. Now, why this matters is because we're going to be able to see how many people are actually buying the thing that we're selling. If my ads are trying to sell my product and you are not yet, let me phrase this differently. If your ads are trying to sell a hero product, but you're not actually tracking what products you're selling, odds are what you're selling has a lot to do with things that are not the product you're actually promoting, right? If McDonald's tries to sell the Big Mac with their ads, you might see that and then just go get a coffee. Or if you're like me and a 40-year-old child, you're getting chicken nuggets and French fries, right? But the point is, the ad doesn't sell the product. The ad earns the attention. And so I want to just bring this up real quick. I'm going to zoom in to make this easier to read. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Now, also fun fact, you noticed our cost cap campaign, 60%. Our non-cost cap campaign, 61%. This is the match rate. Also, the cost cap campaign was more expensive, right? Anyway, doesn't really matter. What matters here is we're just going to take this line item and I'm going to do a breakdown. Let's do it by 2 weeks so we get a decent data set of stuff, okay? You can see that this match rate changes constantly. But let's do one other thing here. I'm going to bring in purchase, cost. Okay, now, why this matters is because we got to start to take a look at what is the difference between your CPA and the cost to actually sell the product you're selling. That's a big, big deal. Because what it costs to sell a product, any product, is very different than the cost to sell the product you're trying to promote. And if we look at the match rates here, we can see sometimes these CPAs are really low, right? Like they're 45. Love it. But this match rate is only 33%. It cost me $45 to make a sale. But of the 30, only 10 were of the thing I was actually promoting with the ads. So the number one first thing that you need to do right away is set up these custom conversion events and the match rate to understand, are you actually selling the product that you're trying to sell? Right? If you're not tracking this, if you have an agency running ads for you and they're not tracking this, if you're running ads for somebody else, if you're running your own ads, if you don't understand what's actually being bought with your ads, you have actually no idea what your ads are doing. Investing a lot of money into the ad platform and having no idea what's actually going on is a very bad investment. So I want to call this out real quick. Now, again, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat. We will get to them in the order in which they are received. And great to see a whole bunch of people here. We've got nearly 50 eyeballs watching here. That's fantastic. Let me know where you're watching from, by the way. Drop it in the chat. I'd love to bring you up. So anyway, I want to just talk about this, right? This is the first thing. Now we'll get to some other stuff, but we got some questions lined up. So we'll get to that here in just a minute. What I want to do real quick is just give a shout out to all the new Disruptor Academy members for this week. Here we go. Share screen. Let's bring these folks up. Boom, boom, boom. Love it. Just a big shout out to Owen and to Alexi and to Dave and to Alex and to Metal and to Caesar. Let's see. Also Joe and Zach and Jordan and Tal. All right. Those are all the people from the last week. Big Disruptor shout outs to all of you guys. And yeah, it's all guys this time. So anyway, big shout out to all of y'all. I'm just going to bring this over here real quick, the about page, just so you guys can check this out. Now, let's get to some of your questions. By the way, first 3 people to jump in off of this, I'll send you this shirt and a $100 gift card just for joining. It basically means you're up $3 plus some merch. So check it out. Now, Yogesh, let's get to you. Is best 3 top performing ads, top of funnel? Fine, which is already converting cold traffic. Yogesh, I love it. What you're telling me is you have ads that work. That's fantastic. What I'm most interested in is trying to put myself in the best possible situation. I want the highest quality problem. The single highest quality problem you can have is that you are too efficient. That's the problem you want to have. You want to have the issue of your CPA is so low that you could spend more money. If you can create that problem, then you are in a situation where you can scale your business. One second. Okay, boom. All right, great. So if you are in a situation where your biggest problem is you are too efficient, then you're in a situation where you can add more spend, then your ads are working just fine. If anybody tells you the best way to move forward is to have ads that are speaking to this customer and that customer and all sorts of other things, fine, but you've already solved the problem. Your best top performing ads or top of funnel, great. They're already converting cold traffic, great. You do not have a problem in this case other than it seems like your biggest problem is you're not spending enough. If that's the case, then just increase your budget. I love it. If my top performing ads are all upper funnel, awesome. You've solved you've created the highest quality problem. And I want you to have problems. We are always going to have problems. I want you to have the highest quality problems that we can. That is what it's really all about. So Yogesh, the answer to you, fantastic. And we'll get to some other questions here, but I just wanted to share that. Now, with all that being said, again, we got some more comments here. Just drop them in the chat if you have any other questions. I want to get to point number 2 of the 3 things that we really need to be looking at, but we also need to take a moment and head on over to the YouTube studio. The community over here at Disruptor Academy YouTube channel, which I don't know if you all are watching the Disruptor Academy YouTube channel. Check it out. There's 9 courses on there, 100% free. Stuff that everybody else will be selling you in 2 years, you can get for free right now. So might as well jump in on it, right? So let's just jump into here real quick and let's address a few of these comments. Let's go back a week and then we'll get to point number 2 of how to hit 100K in the next 90 days on Facebook. All right. How to make another $100,000. Okay. Nick, awesome. Watch all of your videos. It's fresh content I've never seen. Also, please make video on Google Ads for beginners. All right, Nick. Challenge accepted. I love it. What I'm going to do, here we go. Let's just turn this on. All right. I love it. Challenge accepted. What I'm going to do is put together a course video here for you and for everyone else on how to take your top 5 Facebook ads and using nothing other than a Notion doc, a little bit of ChatGPT, and a step-by-step guide. You'll be able to have the machine create a search campaign specifically designed to improve the efficiency of your Facebook ads and help you make more money by reducing your blended CPA so you can scale your budget. I'm going to put that on my list and make the commitment to produce this video within the next 6 weeks. Fantastic. There we go. All right. Commitment made in the comments section. All right. Let's get to the next one. What a great explanation around meta ads. A huge help. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. I don't know if there's much to say to Pudge the Perfect, but thank you so much. Let me know any other questions you have. Let's get over here. Hey, Charlie, I think Facebook may have removed DCTs. I was trying to set up a purchase campaign. When I got to the ad set, the DCT option was no longer there. This is absolutely happening to most ad accounts. Some people are saying it's now called flexible ads, but I'm not sure. How do I set that up properly? Right now, it looks strange. It looks like a carousel and 3 separate ads. And it seems like you can have multiple flexible ads with one ad set. Okay, great question. Now, first thing, yes, dynamic creative is being replaced by flex ads. I think by the end of August, that's going to be more or less universal. Also, by the end of August, August 28th, I think is the official date, you are going to be able to see the breakdown on your performance by every single element within a flexible ad like we used to see in dynamic creative 5 years ago. So every excuse people have to not use dynamic creative or 322 ads is just going out the window. Every excuse, every situation where people try to convince you that you're a victim and because of that, you just need to launch more and more ads so that you can pay them to make more ads for you. All of that is going out the window. So you can absolutely have multiple flex ads in an ad set. I recommend to you that if you do not have the budget to get multiple ad sets out of learning, then put multiple flex ads in a single ad set. Follow the same structure of the one campaign blueprint. But what really matters here is it's more important for you to get out of the learning phase than to have 15 different ads where you have no ability to know with any confidence how those ads will perform. Okay, like the number one thing here is your ability to, with confidence, evaluate the performance of those ads. I'm currently working right now on a video that should be out, probably might even be out Tuesday, on this channel, where I'm going to show you exactly how I analyze all ads, stuff that I've only ever kept in the MBA program, and I'm now going to be giving away for free. I'm literally giving you the entire playbook of how I break down ad performance, my favorite tools to do it, the KPIs that I look at, and how to scale. So subscribe to this channel, ring the bell, just make sure you don't miss that video. As soon as it's done, it's coming out. I have now made the commitment that I'm not posting once a week on Tuesday. When I'm done, it's out. So you just got to maintain, keep an eye out. If you're subbed to the channel, you're going to see it. If you're not subbed to the channel, so be it. And I'm also, I am not going to be like tweeting out and posting Instagram posts and emails, everything to promote the videos, because honestly, what I have found is that heavily promoting the YouTube videos means that fewer people get to see them. My hardcore audience sees them, but it means that the YouTube video is not getting a click. It also means that folks are, chasing different things. And if the folks on YouTube want to see the video, if you want to see the video, you should just sub to the channel and just be checking in to make sure that it's there. If you're in tune, you're going to know. Like here, you're live right now with me. You're going to be able to see that I am posting this video in 2 days. Hold on a second. We got another sale coming in. Hold on. I think my sales team needs a link. All right, hold on a second. Let's see. Let's just go get this bag. Hold on. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Where you at? Where you at? Sales, MBA sales. Where you at? Why am I not seeing this channel? Threads. All right, cool. All right, awesome. Looks like we just got a new member. Fantastic. Hey, look, Stripe just got another $10,000. Fantastic. I wonder if it's somebody watching this video right now. Who knows? Anyway, getting back to this. So just keep in mind what's going on. Now, we have other questions around this, so we'll get to that. But let's dive into this because I actually see some great questions from Thabo over here, and I want to address these right now because this is your question. You're back. I asked the DCT question 3 days ago. I recognize you. Now I can't pull post IDs. Let me ask you this. Do you need to pull post IDs? If your ad is good enough, do you need to extract the post? I want to challenge you, and this is going to really help us, honestly, with the next point that I'm going to make here on the second thing on how to make 100K in the next 90 days. I want to challenge you with the idea of, do you need to pull post ID right now? We'll get to this in a minute, and I'm going to explain the system and the process here, but let's get down to your specific question around the pulling of the post IDs. And it says, do I not need to add winners to the winners ad set? Sure. But there's a flow here, all right? And it says, I ran the flex ads like a 322, got 2 sales, not what your ad and copy is responsible. Here's the thing. You got 2 sales. You have nowhere near enough data to say that anything is a winner. 2 sales is not a winner. When you're running these ads, what you're trying to do, and you set me up perfect. So let's actually parlay in this right now. The second thing that we need to focus on, remember 3 simple rules. The second thing that we need to focus on is discipline around ads. Now, the first part of the discipline around ads is around running 322 ads and creative testing. The declaration of a winner. A winning ad is not one that got 2 sales. A winning ad is one that earns a consistent amount of spend on a regular basis, performs similarly at CPM and frequency levels, and when that ad gets more spend, your performance in your business improves. A winning ad is not one that got lucky enough to have the attribution of a couple of sales. Remember that attribution is not about credit. Attribution is about teaching the machine what you want more of. Okay? Attribution is a lesson for the platform. It is not about what ad gets credit for the sale. No ads ever exist in isolation. No ads are ever the reason that a purchase happened. You are never going to be able to know that. What you have to begin to understand is all of your ads exist against all of your other ads, and all of the other ads being run by everybody else, and all of the organic content being run by everybody else, and everybody that's talking to everybody else. Your ads just exist as one touch point in the entire world that you cannot control. So what really matters here, the second big thing that we need to worry about when it comes to discipline is in 2 parts. The first part of this discipline is understanding why an ad is a winner or not. If it does not earn consistent spend, then you have no idea whether it's good or bad. If it doesn't have a consistent frequency with the spend that it gets, then you know that the platform doesn't know how to use that ad. If the CPM is not consistent amongst that frequency with that spend level, then you know the platform isn't sure on how to deliver a consistent quality of result for the end user experience. And if the CPA is different, your cost per sale or lead or app download or whatever is wildly different week to week, you have no idea what's going on. Remember, if you can't do a 4PI analysis to an ad because the results are not consistent, you don't know if that ad is good or bad. The only way you can truly have an idea is this ad earned a lot of spend. As a result, my campaign and my bank account look worse. That's a loser. Or this ad didn't earn spend at all. That's a loser. If those two scenarios aren't true, you have no idea if the ad is good or bad. And this is the kind of stuff we really need to understand. Which also brings us to point number 2, or the part B of point number 2, around ad discipline. The more ads you launch, the less likely you are to be able to see any consistency in the data, meaning the less likely and the lower confidence, the less likely you are to be able to identify any winner, and the lower confidence your ability is to be able to rely on that winner. Now, your next question here, do I not add winners to the winner's ad set? You do. But right now you have a data set of 2 sales. That's not a winner. That's nice. You have 2 ads that have gotten credit for sales. But remember that they're just 2 ads that exist in a big ecosystem. That is no consistency in data. I love that you've got a couple of wins. Keep going. The game isn't to find as many winners as you can. The game is to not have to. One of the biggest things that I want to drive here, one of the biggest points, is that it is not about making things complex. It's not about finding tons and tons of wins. It's about setting up a system that means you don't need to. I was on a one-on-one with one of the MBA folks. By the way, all the folks in the MBA program get one-on-ones on a regular basis with me. So not only do you get, a great ecosystem to learn from, but you're also getting my time. One of the things that we need to understand here is in that business, they were trying to chase and find new winning ads. But what we did see, the simplest path was that your ads were already good enough. This woman's ads, now we worked together she's been in the MBA program for about 6 weeks. That woman, she has multiple campaigns running for different things. We did an analysis of CPA to GPT and found that one campaign had a lower than average CPA by like 10-15%, and the GPT was above average by about 20 to 30%. And it was spending roughly 40% of her budget. So we automated the ad spends to adjust, to invest more and more heavily in the thing that was good and less in the thing that wasn't as good. And this is kind of a preview to point number 3. As a result, her daily ad spend, she was basically pulling, let's say, $20 a day from bad things, 10 from one bad thing, 10 from another bad thing, and adding 30 to the good thing. As a result, over the last 45 days or so, 6 weeks, her daily ad spend's gone up about 20%. And the amount of money she makes per sale has gone up by about 15%. Her cost per purchase has dropped by 20. Now, if you do the math, basically that means, let's just throw numbers out. Let's say she was at a $50 CPA with a $100 GPT. She's now spending 20% more, but at a $40 CPA with a $130 GPT. Our advice yesterday was we are now, those not as good investments are now representing a smaller and smaller percentage. We're more or less phasing them out. And we are going to scale up what's working. And the beautiful thing is we modeled it out. I think we're going to be able to triple her budget in the next 30 days. By the end of August, I think she was at $500 a day on this one campaign. She's spending about $3,000 a day in general. It's $500 a day or so on this one campaign. That is going to get up to about $1,500. And that means her entire ad account is going to scale by 50%. The thing that is driving everything is going to grow by 3x. And by the end of September, that thing will probably get to $3,000 to $4,000 a day. And her entire ad account might get into the $7,000 to $10,000 a day. Because instead of chasing the wins, and I want to bring this home, instead of chasing the winning ads, we're saying these ads work. These ads are good enough for me to invest more money. A winning ad isn't one that gets credit for the sale. A winning ad is one that allows you to invest more because you've solved the problem of, can I spend more money? And you don't have a winning ad. What you have is winning ads. Think of your ads, any ad set, any flex ad, any 3-2-2 is a team. Now that team's going to have some good players and it's going to have some that don't really contribute. Your winning ads out of that flexible ad is like the all-star on the team. Now, when you're looking to the all-star on the team, that member of the team is the best. But when you have a team of all-stars, in this case, your winner's ad set, that ad might not contribute nearly as much, but it was very helpful in the space. And really, if your team keeps on winning, you don't need to just take off the winner and isolate it with everything else and abuse that until it breaks. If you're winning, just keep winning. The creative test, a winner basically says my creative test is over. Your creative test is not over because you get a sale. Your creative test, when you spend money on the ads, is there to teach the machine what who the all-star on the team is. But it's not over then. Then it's how much more can you win? If you have a winning ad at $100 a day and you can scale your ad account to $500 a day, the single worst thing you could do is launch more ads, change your landing page, change your offer construction, or do anything other than just spend more on what's working. If you can raise your budget, the rest of the job is done. Everything else you're doing is what happens after that click, after that sale. Work on your search, work on your offer construction post-transaction, work on your email flows. The point with this discipline is it's not about finding more winning ads. And really, this goes against what so many people say of like, oh, I need to launch more ads. I need hundreds of ads. I just tweeted this thing out the other day. I think it was yesterday. Because it's an open invitation. If anybody wants to have this conversation with me, I would absolutely love to have it. And let me get back to StreamYard here. Here we go. And then let's present, remove. We're going to change what we are presenting. Let's share this tab instead. Okay. All right. Now, let's get rid of this Tweet Hunter stuff. Here, I would love to have a sit-down conversation with somebody, preferably filmed for everyone's benefit, where they can explain to me why the path to success is just launching more ads. The idea that investing more heavily in a depreciating asset is the path to growth makes no sense. Here's the point. The more ads you launch, the less likely any one of those ads are to be consistent. And all of the new ads you launch are being launched at the bottom of your funnel to your warmest audience, meaning they're also running in testing at the highest quality audience to see if the machine should spend more money on anybody else. This is the way all content is delivered, paid or organic. Which means also that the more new ads you launch, the more difficult you make it for your existing winners to see success. The more ads you launch, the faster you will manufacture ad fatigue. If your path to success is manufacturing more and more ad fatigue, meaning the only thing you can do is launch more and more ads, and this is in response to my man John Hickey, who's doing very well, who said, oh, I just need another creative team. We're going to get to 6 figures. We might get to 7 figures in ad spend next month. First off, John, fucking fantastic, dude. I love it. This dude is winning. It's amazing. The reason he needs more ads is because he keeps launching more ads. If you don't, and I see Luke asked this question, so what do we do? Instead of launching more ads, don't launch more ads. In fact, let the machine. Oh, Luke, this is live, or am I a clown? You might also be a clown. Lord knows I am, but this is in fact live. Okay. The path is actually just not launching more ads. Remember that the machine learning is around understanding the consistency of delivery. We can understand how the machine is using our ads by running a simple 4PI analysis. Remember that: spend, frequency, CPM, and efficiency. If those metrics are not stable, the machine is not yet consistent on how it's delivering your stuff. The machine learning has not yet finished. It has not learned how to use the assets you have. That is a place of instability. Thank you, Vanch. My daughter, she's doing very well. Thank you so much. And you, Luke, there we go. Okay. By the way, where are you guys at? Let me know where you are in the world. I'm seeing some names that tell me that's maybe not like, down the street in LA. I'd love to know where you all are at. So the point of this is, every time you launch a new ad, what you're doing is destabilizing the bottom of the funnel. In France, bonjour. I usually say bonjour to everybody, but I think that actually works in French. That's crazy. Okay. The point is, every time you launch a new ad, what you're doing is you're destabilizing the most valuable part of your funnel. South Africa, bonjour. Okay. Which legitimately makes no sense. Bangladesh, bonjour. So the point of this is, if you don't launch more ads, the ads that you have are going to become more stable. Kenya, what? Kenya, bonjour. Sup, crackhead? Technically, it's not a crackhead. I was a heroin addict. Although I have smoked some crack. It's very fun. There's a reason why it's super popular. But like, wrong drug of choice. But hey, what's up? Okay. I don't even know what is going on. Okay, Luke, I get you. I'm going to finish the line. All right. Stay focused. Thank you, Luke. Well, this is a whole point about discipline anyway. Now I'm missing it, so I appreciate it. So what should you do? If you're of the path of I'm going to launch way more ads, odds are you probably have a dozen ads or hundreds of ads that are live. Well, simple 4PI analysis. What ads are not doing their job well? Some ads are prospecting ads, meaning they earn a ton of budget and they have a low frequency and a low CPM, and they're going to be less efficient. Some ads are going to be retargeting ads, means they don't earn as much spend, but their frequency is higher, their CPM is higher, and they should be way more efficient. They don't earn nearly as much spend, but they're way better at the cost per purchase. Why should you listen to it? Hey, man, I got 13 years clean. I've built a couple $1 million, multi, 8 and 9 figure businesses. You don't have to listen to me, but you're here. So thanks for the engagement, homie. So what do we do? The point here, Luke, is that if you have ads right now that are doing their job well, keep them on. If we have ads that are not doing well, we turn them off. And if you don't know what ads to run with, well, if we go back to the beginning of this conversation, if you begin to look at your match rate of your ads, which ones are better or worse at the match rate of what you're supposed to be doing, right? So we go back to this conversation around the match rate of your ads, your purchase rate. If you have an ad that's crushing, like 45, awesome, but only 1 out of 3 people actually bought what I was promoting. Interesting. This is 66. Objectively, this CPA is so much worse, but actually selling what I was trying to promote is different. And you can see the difference. Lower CPA, more sales. I made $2,800 this week. This one, $67, way fewer sales. $67. I made way more. Look at this CPA right here. And 30 sales to 26. I made nearly twice as much because my match rate was higher. That's what this is all about. Understanding what works and why. And the more that you destabilize the funnel, the less you're going to be able to look at your ads and actually understand what you should and should not be doing. understanding this stuff is what it's really all about. So the last point that I'll make here is ad discipline. Now, let's pretend that, let's just actually do this. We don't need to pretend. We can do this here. Let's just go GPT. I'm going to slide this up. Okay, where we go? GPT. Okay, cool. Boom, up, up, up. Okay, here we go. Apply. Awesome. Now, let's just get into the school campaign. I'm going to break down this instead of the breakdown by day. Cool. We're going to get into this flex stack. Awesome. Whole bunch of ads. I know they're on right now. It's actually automation. They're not actually on. This campaign hasn't been running for a while. But if we do this, we can see that we have, we're not summing this down here, which is stupid right now. But let's say our average CPA, our average cost per purchase, our average cost per purchase, let's say it's $75. And let's say our average GPT is 50. Well, if we want to make more money, we can just understand what ads are above our average cost with a below average GPT. Now, this is not necessarily the best example because of like delayed attribution and a bunch of other nonsense. But the point is, when you get into your ad account, just begin to take a look at your data. If you have more than like 6 or 7 ads, you're already too complicated. If you have over 10 ads, you are way too complicated. And that also means it's really easy for you to get a lot better. If you have like 10, 20, 30 ads live in your ad account right now, in your ad set or your campaign, instead of launching more ads, turn off the ones where the CPA is above average and the GPT is worse. That's going to reduce your CPA and improve the profit per transaction on every sale you make. Do that until you have few enough ads that you can actually look at a 4PI analysis and understand what the machine is doing with your money. Then you can begin to do creative testing and understanding how to improve that by, are my prospecting ads good or bad? Are my retargeting ads good or bad? The more ads you launch, the harder it is for you to get to this far more valuable insight. If the way you're defining a win and a loss is, will this ad work for 3 days? You're never going to actually be able to leverage machine learning. Facebook is a machine learning environment. What are you teaching it? And more importantly, are you actually teaching it anything? Or is your path to success making it too complicated to understand what the fuck is going on? So anyway, I'd love to have this conversation. Apparently Solo sent me a DM. Tori's got a response. It's not more ads per se, but it helps. I would disagree. There's a point where you are corrected as depreciating asset. I would say, yes, you know, we at the point where you are launching new ads and before you know how your existing ads work, that's an issue. And in fact, every new ad will create depreciation amongst your existing ones. More chances for success until success is found is what people are looking for. Okay, I love that. Once you find it, you can lead in top performers and iterate and testing process can be slow, but still needs to be done. Okay, all right. And that's why we put stuff out there. Tori and I don't always see eye to eye, but I really like this view. All right, now we've got to point to, let's get rid of this King's Loot stuff. I want to take a moment real quick and just give a shout out. And I do see the comment section blowing up, so I'm going to get to you in a minute. But I do want to give a shout out. Give a little quick shout. Let's see here. Let me just get this queued up proper. Boom, 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 boom. To all the new MBA program members this week. Okay, let's get a little shout out to all the folks in the MBA this week. Here, little window. Boom, boom. All the folks that have joined in August. Shout out to Aaron and to Arwill, Chad, Jenna, Juan, Lindsay, Mark, Shara, Stephen, and Tommy. Love to have you all in the MBA right now. Fantastic. Okay. We'll hide your info here. Just wanted to give that a shout. If you all want to get into the MBA, by the way, it's disruptorschool.com/MBA. Right? Let's actually just walk there together here real quick, and then we're going to get back to more stuff. All right. Disruptor Academy. Let's go here. Cool. Now let's open ourselves a new window. Awesome. And we're going to go disruptorschool.com/MBA. You're going to come to, there we go, Juan, right? What up, buddy? You're going to come to this. And this is, yeah, okay. This is your page. This is the funnel. This is on Perspective, by the way. That's where I run my funnels. And you'll be able to watch this great video. This is like 45 minutes. Right? Let's go, buddy. Yeah, more MBA folks in the chat. And you can see brands I've worked with and a whole bunch of other things. If you're interested in the MBA program, so you can get results like Jad and Miguel and Chase, Bailey, who 10x'd his business, Mike, who took it from 7 hours a day to an hour or two a week, Alexander, who made double his money back in 5 days. Most people that join the MBA program are seeing this kind of experience. Most people are paying it off before we're halfway through. Like, that is crushing, right? Jad hit a 12K net profit in 1 day after working on this. And I think that was a business that was doing 4,000 a day before we started, right? So like, just crushing. Okay. And you can see more of what they have to say, their actual own words. So you know that I'm not just like cherry picking and lying about stuff. Okay. So anyway, there's that whole piece if you want to get into it. Now, that all being said, what I want to do is take a moment here to, well, let's hit the chat. We didn't even get a chance to really address point number 3 and the comments on the primary YouTube. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to answer one more question here in this chat, and then we're going to get to the third thing that you need to understand to get another 100K in 90 days on Meta. All right. So this one. Should I put all my offers in the same campaign? No. Every campaign should have its own business objective. That business objective should be defined as how well can I do this thing? Every offer has a different definition of success. Every offer has a different AOV and LTV and GPT and allowable CPA. You cannot compare how much does it cost to sell a stick of gum to how much does it cost to rent a Lamborghini. Those are just two completely different things. So the point to that is, there is a school of thought run by the cost cappers that says you promote every offer that makes money. You sell everything where it's a positive return, and you push it all out there. And for about 1% of businesses, that's probably true. And no, that business is not yours. What I want you to understand is invest in money where it's the best investment for you. And that really brings us to point number 3. So Van, you set me up here, so I'm going to take it. All right. So what I need you to understand is that the third point, talking about point number 3 of how to make 100K in 90 days, in the next 90 days, is promote the offers that do the best. We just signed on 2 more brands to the Disruptor Agency this week. Both of them, for what it's worth, have a single purchase and subscription offer where you can buy multiple number of a thing, right? I won't get too much into the business, but let's just use 310 Nutrition as an example of how this was done. You can buy 1 bag, you can buy 3 bags. They come in different flavors. You could get them one-time purchase. You can get them in small bags, big bags, one-time purchase or subscription. The point is, remember when we went back to understanding the products that you're selling, right? Point number 1. Point number 3 of how to make more money is focus on the thing that's the best investment for you. So what you need to begin to understand, and the reason this is really important, is selling all of the items that you have, promoting all of your offers is not the way to make the most money. Let's just use stocks and crypto as an example, okay? You might have one stock that goes up 5% a day or 5% a month, and you could have another one that doubles. If you want to make more money, why are you investing in the one that goes up by 5%? If the other one doubles, why not just spend more money there? The point to this, I'm just going to throw this MBA screen back up because I'm getting like multiple messages around where to find this thing. So here we go. Boom. Love it. All right. Here's the Meta MBA. It's disruptorschool.com/MBA. Cool. Boom. There we go. So you can check this out if you want to. Now, the reason that this is important is because not all of your offers are the same. If you look at this business where we did $20 million and almost to the end of the year, this screenshot was taken right before Black Friday. The biggest thing that we did, if you notice, the volume of sales didn't change, but the amount of money that was made 3x'd in 1 year. And you can see, if you just peek over here, this average order value improved. The sessions was kind of up and down. The returning customers was all the same. All these metrics are more or less the same, but this number was a 6. Then it's 20.5. The sales volume went up a little bit. Average order value. Here's the thing. What we did, and you can't see it because it's behind my head, but this returning customer number improved. I'll put it that way. What we did is say, what are the offers where when somebody buys this, they're more likely to buy again? Simple example. If you have a steakhouse and somebody comes in and gets your wedge salad and some fish and chips and it's your profit margin on that wedge salad is probably 95%. Right? You're a bougie steakhouse, you're selling that salad for $35 and it costs you $4 in parts, right? Like the lettuce and cheese, right? It costs you 80 cents to make that salad. You sold it for $35. Fantastic markup. That person's never coming back. Or you can sell a fantastic steak, and maybe that meat cost you $10, and you sold it for 20 or 100, whatever it is. Let's say that steak costs you $50 for that piece of meat, and you sold it for 100. Your profit margin is 2x. Versus essentially $1 billion on the other one. But if I enjoy that steak, I'm going to come back 2 or 3 more times. What matters more than anything is understanding the cohort offers. What offer, instead of making a profit today, is most likely to get somebody to want to come back. If people want to come back, that means they're having a positive experience with your business. Not only does that help your cash flow, meaning you're getting more and more customers coming back for more and more repeat sales, meaning you're getting more and more sales that are reliant on consumer behavior, not ads. So your blended CPA continues to come down because the amount of sales you make every day that are purely from people that bought from you before goes up. So you're making sales because of email, because of just normal customer journeys. But also because people are having a positive experience with your business, your CPMs go down. Your bounce rate on your landing page goes down because you're only promoting the things that people like. You're improving one page's conversion rate and stickiness, not chasing 10 things that might work. You're working on building a better business. You're working on growing a business. You're not focused on being a performance marketer who can make a report that looks good so that every time you hop on the call with that agency or that media buyer, the first 30 minutes is, please don't fire me. Right? Here's how much money we spent. Here's how much work that everybody else did that we're going to take credit for. And here's why you shouldn't fire me. Here are the 9,000 other things to make it look like I'm doing a tremendous volume of work. Volume of work doesn't matter. The more work that your media buyer or agency has to do in the account, the worse they are at the job. Let me repeat this. The more work it takes, the more work somebody does in the ad account is a direct correlation with how good or bad they are. I try to train people in the MBA program. I train people, and if you can't afford that, we do it in Disruptor Academy as well. Disruptor Academy is $97 a month. The MBA is, well, more. We train people to not need to get into the ad account for more than an hour or two a week. It is completely reasonable to run a 7 or 8 figure business and spend an hour 2 or 3 times a week in the ad account. If you've solved the problem of can I spend more money, you don't touch anything. You don't mess with other stuff. And if you see things slip, you're going to know exactly what's slipping and why because you don't have a lot of moving parts. You're going to be able to look and see, I only have as many moving parts as I need in order to increase my budget. Something isn't working. What thing is no longer performing in the way that it did before? Now, if you have 1,000 different ads, or you're promoting 20,000 different offers, or you don't know the match rate of what you're selling to what you're promoting, you can't understand this data. You can't grow the business. So if you want to get an extra 100K in the next 90 days, focus on knowing what you're actually selling. Focus on reducing the amount of moving parts so you can understand what the hell the machine is doing with your ads. And then focus on only selling the things that are most likely to give people a positive enough experience that they're going to want to come back and spend with you again, not only because that cash flow is much easier to achieve, not only because those transactions are more profitable, but because that also means you're doing one thing well, and that's going to show the machine that you're good at what you're doing, and it's going to reach higher quality people for a lower price. Your CPMs will go down, your profit margins will go up, and ultimately that solves the problem of, can I spend more money? And the more you do that, the less you need to run more ads, because you're not trying to solve problems you don't have. If you want to make more money in the next 90 days, like 100K, and I've made 100K a month. I have a video coming out soon of like the funnel that I ran to make $100,000 in 30 days. And to prove it wasn't a fluke, I did it again. And I'm just going to show the entire funnel and every step of the way. I spent like $3,000 on ads. Understanding how that works. The number one thing is a very small number of moving parts. It's promoting the thing that works. And it's understanding how the machine is doing the work. If you're throwing your money into the machine, if you're feeding the machine your cash, and you don't know what it's doing, and you don't know what you're getting from it, then you have no fucking clue what's going on. And the ability for you to make more money is really hindered. And I hear you, a lot of folks say, well, I'm running a lot of ads and that's successful for my business. Here's my pushback. I think like in John Hickey's space, I told him, I think this business works because you're really good at running a business. And what if you could spend way less money acquiring new ads, way less time managing a bunch of teams, and far less of your time in the ad account to see the same results or better? What if I could reduce your workload by 60, 70, 80%? Reduce your operating expenses to get that work done by thousands, and the performance was better. Most of the people that I know that are winning by doing a ton of work either get paid by how much work they can show they do, or they're somebody that's running a really good business. Most of them are folks that run ads for well-run businesses. And one of the biggest things we have to understand is the success of the business is not because of the media buyer. A good media buyer can't save a bad business. But a bad media buyer can absolutely get in the way of success. And mediocre results, and by mediocre results, I mean anything less than a 200 or 300% growth every year. Yeah. If you're not doubling every year, your results are mediocre. You can't go on Dragon's Den or Shark Tank and be like, we grow 30% every year, and expect them to have any interest in working with you. That is bad. I mean, good on you for growing, but that is not anything to beat your chest and be proud of when trying to grow a business. 30% a year means we have done nothing in marketing and we've just done good service. Good product, good service, good price. You should be growing 30% a year. If you're investing anything in marketing, you should at least be double that, if not doubling your business every year. So my point to all of this is, if you want to make another 100K in the next 90 days, these are the things you need to focus on. If you want my help, here's the MBA, and down there is the Disruptor Academy. This is very accessible, very well priced. The next 3 people that join it, screw it. Like I said, I'll just give you, I'll give you one of these shirts and $100 gift card. So essentially your first month is free anyway. And it looks like we got a new person in the MBA during this, which is fantastic because my salesman is working on stuff while I'm here. So fantastic. Welcome, Austin. Good to see you. But anyway, this is what it's all about. And I'll leave you with this, okay? If somebody says the path to success is making things more complicated, it's because they're not good at their job. Anytime somebody says the trick is to do more, that generally is a really pretty big red flag. Generally speaking, most people aren't doing things well. So doing more isn't helpful. Doing more of mediocre can get you into a better place, but it's a fraction of the success you could see by just doing things better. Now, once you do it well, once you're doing it very well and you're doing it better, then sure, do more of it. But you could be ramping up your volume of effort to make success more difficult. And I think that's what most people do. So that being said, it's an hour. I'm going to let you all go. Best of luck out there. Again, first 3 people that just joined Disruptor Academy, if you mention this thing, I'll throw you the shirt and a $100 gift card. I know we didn't get to all the questions here. I wish I could. They were just stacking up. Welcome to everybody. I'll see you guys next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. Stay tuned for more stuff. We've got a course coming out on catalog on the Disruptor Academy channel that I'm doing with Marpipe. We've got a video coming out on how I run ads and how to look at your ads and the analysis that you need to do so you can scale with confidence on less work to make more money. And we have a video coming out on the exact funnel so you can copy and paste your way to success on how I made $100,000 in 30 days. And to prove it's not a fluke, and because I also like money, I did it again. $3,000 ad spend, over $150,000 in revenue. That's what's queued up right now. And I just dropped essentially a course video. It's like almost 50 minutes long on how to look at your business for offer construction, cash flow. And we're basically going to make it so that anybody that says ROAS or CTR, launching hundreds of ads, or like worried about attribution, all of that nonsense, you're going to begin to take a look at them and be like, I remember when I thought those things. I'm much happier being way more successful now. All right. Till next time, everybody. See you around.